am telling you here now, I said it yesterday, and I'll say it again today. Dismiss the Donald at your own peril. I know that many Washington, D.C. political elitists, many of them within the media circles, they want to dismiss this guy as a carnival act and a showman. And yeah, he's both of those things. They want to dismiss him as someone who doesn't really want the presidency or whatever. But I'm telling you, the way that the elitists in D.C. and the way that the media elites in New York City view Donald Trump is decidedly different than flyover country, and it's decidedly different than the way that, you know, Mama and them up in Coleman at the Walmart view Donald Trump, okay? Donald Trump has a couple of things going for him. One, first and foremost, he doesn't give a damn what anyone else thinks about it. Isn't it refreshing? Isn't it? Forget ideology. Forget all of that. Isn't it refreshing for the average American, for the average Alabamian to think that Donald Trump is who he is, and he doesn't care what you think about that? One of the issues that Mitt Romney had when he ran for president against Barack Obama in 2012, he seemed embarrassed by his own success. He was labeled as a rich guy who doesn't connect with the average person. Donald Trump comes out yesterday and goes, yeah, I'm rich. I'm rich. I am rich. I am Mr. Rich. I am big-time rich. If they made a physical manifestation of the monopoly guy, I would be that guy. And he doesn't apologize for that. And that to me, that's refreshing because his monetary wealth is an evaluation of his overall success. And don't you want successful people in the White House? Don't you want successful people running the country?
But Matt, he started with the silver spoon in his mouth. He didn't earn what he has.
That's right. That's what we'll hear, I'm sure. I'm certain if he becomes a threat, people will bring up the fact that he declared bankruptcy, which Donald Trump has answered time and time again. Anyway, look, I'm not suggesting that Donald Trump is the next president of the United States, and I'm not even suggesting that he's a guy that I would vote for. I'll say this, though. I'd vote for Donald Trump before I voted for Rick Santorum, who won Alabama last time around. What about you? I'd vote for Donald Trump before I voted for Mike Huckabee. And any conservative or libertarian that has looked into Mike Huckabee's record in Arkansas ought to agree with me. Because Mike Huckabee was not conservative as governor of Arkansas. I'd vote for Donald Trump before I voted for Mike Huckabee. I'd vote for Donald Trump before I voted for Ben Carson. I'd vote for Donald Trump. I don't know. Carly Fiorina I have a soft spot in my heart for Carly Fiorina. I'd vote for Donald Trump a hell of a lot quicker than I'd vote for Lindsey Graham or George Pataki.
And that Jeb.
I'd vote for Donald Trump before I voted for Jeb Bush. You dang right I would. On the issue of immigration alone. Because Jeb Bush is not being honest with the people about immigration. Donald Trump is. Now, the pointy-headed elitists at the Washington Post and the New York Times and at MSNBC and at CNN, all of these various organizations, they can laugh all they want about his line regarding the Great Wall of Mexico, but let me tell you something. Do you think the people in the state of Texas were laughing? They might have laughed because it was a funny line, but I guarantee you after they got done laughing, they started applauding. After they got done laughing, they said, you know what? Why isn't everyone else talking about this considering the nature of the problem that we face? I mean, Donald Trump said not only would he build the Great Wall of Mexico, he'd make them pay for it. In a time and a day and age where the presidency has become celebrity, and I didn't do that. Barack Obama did that, and Bill Clinton did that before him. When the presidency has become celebrity, what's wrong with a guy that's something of a showman giving it a go as well? He's not afraid of the media. He's proud of his accomplishments. He cuts through political clutter. He uses language that I wish I could use on a stage like that, calling the baby ugly. He's not afraid to do it, including the GOP. By the way, did you notice he didn't mention the GOP once in his speech? Unless I missed it, I was watching it while on air, and we were jipping it and we were joining it, and I was going in and out of it. So unless I missed it, I don't know that he mentioned the GOP once. He certainly talked about some of the members of the GOP by name. Yeah, I'd vote, to answer your question, David, yeah, I'd vote for Donald Trump before I voted for Jeb Bush. Because I think Donald Trump would have more success beating Hillary Rodham Clinton than Jeb Bush. Plain-spoken guy. Now, is he something of a carnival act? Yeah, but what's wrong with that? We got a carnival act in the White House. And his name is Barack Obama. Yeah, so I'm just saying, ignore this guy at your peril. Donald Trump is a smart man. Donald Trump is a wealthy guy. Donald Trump has 8.7 billion reasons why he's not going anywhere. And if he decides he wants it, and that's the key, does Donald Trump want it, or does Donald Trump want to be a spoiler? Does Donald Trump really want to be president of the United States, or does Donald Trump just want to make a broader point about getting plain spoken when it comes to our politicians? Some of the things he said yesterday, when Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're sending people that have lots of problems. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists. He's right on those fronts. Those types of people are coming into the United States of America through Mexico. Said, I'll build a great wall, and nobody builds wall. This is what I love about Trump. He not only says he's going to build a wall, he makes a point to tell you, this is going to be the best wall ever. Believe me, I'll build them very inexpensively. He's he's a salesman, but I don't mind that. And finally, regardless of what you think about the possibility of a President Trump, he brings a refreshing attitude to the presidency, and it goes back to what I said at the beginning of this segment. Donald Trump doesn't care. And I think we need a little of that. You know why Jeb Bush strikes me as odd? This occurred to me last night when I was thinking about this. Why am I attracted to Donald Trump? Yeah, he's kind of a sideshow, and he's a salesman, and yeah, he says kind of absurd things sometimes, but, you're enthralled by him, and you're just captivated by it. Why is this? And then I thought about some of the other candidates. What quality does Donald Trump have that the other candidates don't? You know what Jeb Bush's problem is? Jeb Bush seems to want this too much. He seems to want it too much. He doesn't seem to feel like it's... Donald Trump doesn't seem to want it that much. He just seems, look, I love my country. My country's become a second-rate country. We're getting our asses whipped by China and other nations around the globe in education and in science and in technology and in building infrastructure. We got third world infrastructure, and that sucks, and I don't like it. And I'm looking around, and there's nobody doing anything about it, so I guess I need to do something about it. Oh, well, America needs a leader. I guess I'm the guy. Here I come. And I don't really care what you think about me. I like that. I like that. And let me tell you, in our business, in our industry, with all due respect, I don't know what Montiel said about it on News Radio 1440 today, if anything. I listened to a little of what Dale Jackson had to say about it. And with all due respect to people within my industry, people that are immersed in talking about politics on a daily basis, the average folks don't deal with politics like we do. They don't consume it the same way that we do. It takes a special blend of overcoming the media and not really giving a crap about the media and being attractive enough, and not physically, obviously, but being attractive enough and funny enough and self-deprecating enough and just enough of a caricature that people don't care how CNN treats him anymore. They just kind of gravitate to him. What's the old There's an Eddie Murphy bit about voting for Jesse Jackson and about how the only way that Jesse Jackson could have won is if white people went into the voting booth and did it as a joke. I just voted for Jesse Jackson. Ah! What? He won? I think Donald Trump might have some of that going for him, too. So, look, I'm curious your thoughts. And I'm not kidding here. Donald Trump will affect the outcome of this election. If nothing else, he's going to call out the feckless and the spineless politicians that are in this race. I think Jeb Bush is one of them. And I think at very least, he's going to highlight those individuals that are willing to call out the media, that are willing to call out the left, that are willing to say something that might be considered controversial in other circles. And I think those individuals are going to rise up. And I think Marco Rubio is one of them, I hope. I think Ted Cruz might be another one. I think Jeb Bush is hurt because of this. And who knows? People might decide they want a political outsider. Look, people don't like the government. People don't like politicians right now. There's a great discord and disconnect between the average voter, the average Alabamian, and Washington, D.C. and the political class. And Donald Trump represents a guy who stands up and says, this sucks, and it's time for somebody to do something about it. And I dig that. What about you?